I Am by Jorge Adoum.
I place in your hands the keys to knowledge, power, and love for your happiness and fortune. It is your fault if you do not wish to use them. The conditions are always the same as in the beginning: to know, to will, to dare, and above all, to keep silent. These teachings were meant for an extensive internal course spanning 365 weeks or 7 years, requiring true inner initiation. The one who now places them in your hands has condensed them into 365 days, assuming, of course, the responsibilities that come with this. You must know that I am is the presence of God in every human being. Never forget this. I am is life, light, substance, intelligence, and activity. In him we live, move, and have our being unconsciously. The purpose of these practices is to prepare us to consciously feel our union with the Father, I am, the inner God. Man has two I's, or is made of two entities: the personal, bodily, objective, or carnal self, as St. Paul calls it, which has its own mind, and the I am, which through its attributes, the physical body and the mind, gives life and motion. Each time man says I am, the unique substance from which God created heaven and earth moves into action. Let there be light, and the fluid and vibration were set in motion. Saying I am is working on this light and, through it, on all of nature, subject to the modifications of intelligence. Not everyone who calls me Lord, Lord, will be saved, but only those who do the will of my Father who sent me. Likewise, it is not enough to merely invoke the presence, I am, and then cross our arms waiting for our requests to be answered through grace, or that someone will always do them for us. On the contrary, we must be good children, good parents, good spouses, good friends, and good citizens. And in each of these roles, there are many duties to fulfill. For perfect realization, certain conditions must be met. 1. Have a healthy body. 2. Have a pure aspiration. 3. Have a perfect conscience. To have a healthy body, it is necessary to practice the following guidelines, which can be very helpful. Upon waking, practice some breathing exercises at least 7 times, which consist of taking 7 rhythmic breaths with the purest thoughts. Any exercise is good, but we will suggest the simplest and least harmful one. Inhale slowly through the nose while mentally counting up to 8 heartbeats, or 8 seconds. Hold the breath in the lungs for 4 seconds. Exhale the air for 8 seconds until the lungs are completely empty. Hold the lungs empty for 4 seconds. If you can practice this exercise more than 7 times, it's even better. After breathing exercises, it is highly recommended to do some Swedish gymnastics for 4 to 5 minutes to maintain the flexibility of the spine. After these exercises, you can begin with the daily affirmation, as will be explained later. It is necessary to bathe frequently without punishing the body with water that is too hot or too cold. Sunbathing the body, except the head, is very beneficial. Cure constipation by drinking 30 grams of pure water every half hour, which is equivalent to 1 tablespoon. Eat plenty of fresh fruits and cleanse the intestines with a warm water enema at least once a week until digestion normalizes. You may eat and drink anything, using common sense. Use, but don't abuse. Mental health and a tranquil conscience are very important for achieving physical health. Sexual activity must be prudently controlled. Solitary and unnatural vices create openings in the auric shell, through which lower elemental beings enter, often allowing certain spirits to act out their passions and base desires. These vices and lusts render the action of the I am ineffective in its body temple. The aspirant must never criticize or judge others. It is important to chew food thoroughly. Each person must seek the most suitable food and lifestyle for their temperament. The physical type, characterized by broad and strong jaws, must monitor the stomach, liver, and intestines. The mental type should focus on the lungs, and the spiritual type must strengthen the sexual organs with deep breathing and genital baths in fresh water. The exercise of daily affirmation consists of sitting in an upright position, intertwining the fingers of the hands with the tips of the thumbs touching each other. Then formulate the desire and aspire to obtain it with great clarity, decision, and certainty. Slowly inhale through the nose until the lungs are full. Hold the breath for as long as possible without becoming fatigued. It is very beneficial during this retention to pray the Our Father as taught by the Master in the Gospel, and meditate on the meaning of each phrase, as we explain in our work, The Magic of the Word, directing each request to a magnetic center of the body. While exhaling, affirm in a low but audible voice the affirmation of the day, 7, 14, or 21 times. However, throughout the day and without breathing exercises, you must affirm it hundreds of times with an attentive and conscious mind. Whoever keeps their thoughts focused on an ideal will undoubtedly realize it. Thought is the man. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. During practice, it is crucial to banish all sadness, worry, and doubt from the mind, as these states attract negative atoms to the body. Invoking I am, breathing with joy, and inhaling with strength exterminates all destructive atoms in the body. See the keys to the inner kingdom and the kingdom or the unveiled man. I am the divine presence that illuminates every aspirant who wishes to dedicate themselves to the higher life, to uncover all the wisdom of the ages. Your dedication will endow you with an immaculate character, and you will be sexually strong and a tamer of your inner beasts. These hermetic teachings were practiced thousands of years ago in Egypt and were revealed only to those who were worthy of them. The aspirant must understand that they are the sole modulator of their world and co-participant in shaping the worlds of others through their feelings, thoughts, and actions. In this way, they must never forget their permanent duty to charge the mind, body, place, world, and all activity with the love of I am, and their own world will become a paradise. Disciple, if the masters, politicians, priests, and other leaders of humanity do not want or are not aware of the presence of the flame to use it, you have the duty to use it for them. You are obligated to become their light, guide, and savior. You must sustain and kindle, through love and affirmation, this flame, this ineffable light within them. The mission of the Superman, of the exalted being, is to intensify the divine fire in their fellow beings so that they do not resist the flow of I am God in action in each of them, and thus they will vibrate harmoniously in unison with the law until they gain the understanding to respond to its call. This is the mission of the disciple and savior, not to think of oneself and to dedicate all efforts to saving others. Expect nothing from anyone and be prepared to give everything. Who gives, receives. Practice the affirmations with impersonal love for 5 or 10 minutes each day. Before a year has passed, you will feel such freedom and well-being in the body, such illumination in the mind, such precision in your work, and such power in your thoughts and words that you will no longer want to do anything but continue this practice. For I am the fullness of love, and in the fullness of love are all things desired. We are certain that the seeds we sow today in the hearts and minds of men will only be embraced by 5 or 10% of those who receive them. The rest, finding them too simple, or because they do not cost much money, or because they do not understand them, will not know how to appreciate them. But we are the sowers of Mother Nature, who is in charge of the life and growth of the seeds. Every desire, aspiration, or yearning is a call from the personal self to the inner I am. It is his will that seeks to manifest externally. When the disciple asks, they must understand that the external self is calling upon the I am inner God, which governs the substance and energy to decree its expression. I am is the powerful and infinite presence of God in action, holding in its power all the principles of life and activity in the world and within each being. From its mighty essence comes everything that is. It is the omnipotence of life. It is the omnipresence of light. It is God in action, guiding and governing human minds toward truth and justice. God is life, and life is love, peace, harmony, and well-being. Life does not care who uses it. It is like the sun that shines on the good and the bad, on the wolf and the lamb. I am is the very act of life, and when a man says I am, he makes all the power of life vibrate and opens the door to its natural outpouring and flow, for I am is the full activity of God. For this reason, never, ever should the disciple allow their thoughts to place negativity on I am, or hinder the activity of that life, as when they say, I cannot, I am defeated, I am not happy, etc. For with these statements, they nullify God's energy within themselves and their world. We must know that by saying I am, we are invoking the action of God in us and in our lives. And in this way, we open the door for the mighty intelligence to express itself in the external world. To achieve this, it is necessary to calm oneself by sitting down and quieting the external self. This will provide us with energy every time we need it. We must not place attention on things we do not want. Joyful feeling is more effective than all desperate and sorrowful efforts because joy means love, and love is God's freedom manifesting in everything. Every human being desires perfection, beauty, and abundance. This shows that I am, in seeking to express these attributes, ignites the desire in the mind and heart of man so that he may serve as an instrument of manifestation. If the human being allows the I am presence within them to act consciously, it will influence the body, making it purer and more perfect, more beautiful and harmonious. Every human being can enter the kingdom of I am and ask that its will be done, just as in the highest heaven of the being, so in the densest earth of the physical body. This is what the wise biblical affirmation refers to. Be still and know that I am God. That is, the mind must be calmed so that I am can act with its dynamic power in each one's life. This confirms that every external form is but the garment of the I am, which uses it to express itself in the denser octave in which the human being is submerged.